friends. I am Dr. Deepak Rao, consultant laparoscopic surgeon at the Motherhood Group of Hospitals at Bangalore. Today we are going to discuss what questions you should be asking your doctor if you are undergoing a surgery for the removal of the uterus, which is also known as a hysterectomy. The first point that most patients ask is, what are the types of hysterectomies that are done? The commonest hysterectomy is what is called a total hysterectomy. In a total hysterectomy, the uterus as well as the cervix are removed. The cervix is the mouth of the uterus and it is an essential part for pregnancy and delivery. The second not so common type of a hysterectomy is what is known as a supracervical or a subtotal hysterectomy. In this type of a hysterectomy, the uterus, or rather the body of the uterus, is removed, but the cervix is not, and the cervix is left behind. This is not an ideal surgery and should be done only under specific circumstances. How are hysterectomies performed? In the olden days, the standard approach to hysterectomy was what is called the abdominal hysterectomy. In an abdominal hysterectomy, there is a large incision made on the abdomen and the uterus is removed by an open surgical technique. An alternative to this is that when some patients had prolapse or a condition where the uterus would descend out through the vagina, they would undergo a surgery called a vaginal hysterectomy. In a vaginal hysterectomy, this entire surgery is performed through the vagina and there is no incision or scar on the abdomen. The third and the most important type of hysterectomy is what is called a laparoscopic hysterectomy. A laparoscopic hysterectomy has taken over both abdominal as well as vaginal hysterectomies. In a laparoscopic hysterectomy, there are small incisions 5 to 6 millimeters in size, which are placed on the abdomen, and through these incisions, a camera as well as some instruments are inserted into the abdomen and the surgery is carried out. If the uterus is not very enlarged in size, the uterus may be removed through the vagina and then the vagina is sutured, again laparoscopically. If the uterus is large in size and does not fit through the vaginal cavity, then we do a procedure called a morcellation, where the uterus is cut into small pieces and removed through one of the small incisions on the abdominal wall. And finally, the vagina is sutured. Now, laparoscopic hysterectomies have also taken over largely vaginal hysterectomies. This is because vaginal hysterectomies are often done for patients who have a prolapse of the uterus and the uterus starts to come down. In that case, it is still considered now better to do a laparoscopic hysterectomy and repair the prolapse from the abdomen with a mesh, because the mesh gives added strength to these patients and these patients have a much lower recurrence rate of prolapse at a later date. Vaginal hysterectomies do correct the prolapse, but with the patient's own tissues, and the tissues are often weak and these patients have a recurrent prolapse after 2 to 3 years. So, laparoscopic hysterectomy is the route of choice as an alternative to both abdominal as well as vaginal hysterectomies. What will you face when you undergo a laparoscopic hysterectomy? You will probably be asked to come to the hospital in the morning on a completely empty stomach. You will be prepped for surgery. The surgery itself takes between 45 minutes to an hour and a half for routine cases. For large uteri or with large tumors, it may go up to 2 to 2.5 hours also. You return to the ward from the operation theatre after about 1 hour of observation in the recovery room. You will have a catheter in place which allows you to pass urine directly into a uro bag, as you will not be able to walk for 3 to 4 hours. After 6 hours or so after the surgery, you will be allowed to have liquids, and by night you will be able to have dinner. The next morning, the catheter will be removed and you will be discharged. You will spend about 1 day in the hospital and you will be home the next day. Patients ask how long will it take for them to resume work. My patients often resume household work by the second or the third day after the surgery. Some patients even resume office work within a week after the surgery. It is all up to you. Some patients recover fast and they can go back to office work in 3 to 4 days. Some patients may take 5 to 6 days to get back to office work. Exercise can be started almost immediately after surgery within 2 to 3 days. Light exercise such as walking or cardio or aerobic exercises, heavy weight training exercises, I would suggest the patient waits for 2 to 3 weeks to start. Just remember that laparoscopic surgery is what allows you to recover so fast. When patients undergo abdominal surgery, it takes them 4 to 6 weeks to even recover to comfortably start any form of exercise. With laparoscopic surgery, you will be walking on the same day of surgery and you will be almost completely back to normal within 24 to 48 hours after the surgery. A common question is, when can I resume sexual activity after a hysterectomy? This is one situation where there has to be restraint and sexual activity is usually not recommended for 6 to 8 weeks after a hysterectomy, be it an abdominal, be it a vaginal, or be it a laparoscopic surgery. This is because the vagina has been sutured and this suturing takes 6 weeks to heal completely and to gather strength enough to withstand sexual activity. A common question patients ask is, will I go into menopause after a hysterectomy? The answer is a categorical no. Menopause has nothing to do with the removal of the uterus. The uterus produces no hormones. Its only function is childbearing. If you undergo a hysterectomy, the only 2 changes in your body will be 1, you will not get your periods anymore, and 2, you will not be able to have a pregnancy. There are no hormonal changes, no sexual changes, no depression, no mental changes, no weight gain, no side effects on the bones leading to weakness and osteoporosis. There are no side effects on your heart leading to heart attacks, etc. All these side effects arise when the ovaries are removed, and that too if the ovaries are removed prematurely. Nowadays, we retain the ovaries of patients till they reach the age of 60. For even though ovaries reduce the production of hormones like estrogen by the age of 50 to 55, they still produce small amounts of male sexual hormones which continue till the age of 60, and these are extremely beneficial to women. So we do not remove the ovaries till the patient is between 55 to 60, if not more. Finally, the last couple of questions you must ask is your doctor experienced enough to do a laparoscopic surgery? Is your doctor experienced enough to use the latest techniques in laparoscopic surgery? Because laparoscopic surgery in the hands of someone who is not adequately experienced can lead to a high level of complications, and the complications are higher than with abdominal surgery. Having said that, if your surgeon is adequately experienced in laparoscopic surgery, his complication rate will be lower than abdominal surgery in most cases. Also, the hospital where you are getting operated at, does it have the latest equipment? Does it have the latest instruments? Because laparoscopy is a mixture of surgeon skills, teamwork, as well as equipment at hand. All these are important for the well-being of a patient. What is the conclusion one can draw from this? The gold standard today for a hysterectomy is laparoscopic. There should be no more open surgeries done at all for routine gynec cases. At most, for some large malignancies or large fibroids which are suspected to be malignant, we may reserve open surgery. But 99% of hysterectomies should be done laparoscopically. Thank you.